This video is going to talk about how to multiply mixed numbers and fractions together. And really that's not too much different from multiplying fractions times fractions, except now we need to change those mixed numbers into fractions. So let's go ahead and take a look. We have 1/3 times 6 and 3/7. Well, the 1/3 is a fraction. Good for it. Now we need to take this 6 and 3/7 and turn it into an improper fraction because we can't multiply with the whole number in there. We need to get rid of that whole number so that we can multiply a fraction times a fraction. So 6 times 7 is going to be 42 plus 3 for 4 is 45. So that's going to be 45 over 7. And now we're going to multiply like normal. Except I noticed something. I noticed that 45 can be divided by 3. And I know this because 4 plus 5 is 9. So I'm going to divide 45 by 3. And just in case you're wondering, 3 goes into 4 one time. 3 goes into 15 5 times. So 45 is going to become 15. 3 is going to become just 1. So now I have 1 times 15 is 15, and I have 1 times 7 is 7, and I get 15 over 7. Which is great, except that answer is not a proper fraction, and now that we're not multiplying, or dividing, but we'll get to that. Now that we're not multiplying, we need to change it back into an improper fraction. So we need to make the L and divide. So I'm going to put 15 divided by 7. 7 goes into 15 2 times. Leaves me with 1 left over, which means my answer is going to be 2 and 1/7. So there's my final answer for that problem. The next problem that we're going to look at is 1 7/8 times 3 1/3. So now that we have two mixed numbers, we need to change both of these mixed numbers into fractions, improper fractions. Let's go ahead and do that. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 7. 8 plus 7 is going to be 15. So 1 7/8 becomes 15 over 8. 3 times 3 is 9 plus the 1 is going to be 10 over 3. And I want to multiply those two together. It's an 8 there. Can't figure out which way to move it. This way? Great. And this is a 3. Sorry about the glare. Now, what I notice is that I can do a lot of simplifying here. This 3 can become a 1 because I can divide 15 by 3. When I divide 15 by 3, I get 5. I can also cut 10 and 8 in half. I can divide them both by 2. So 10 becomes 5, 8 becomes 4. Now I have 5 times 5, which is 25. And 4 times 1, which is 4. So I have 25 over 4. And because I have 25 over 4, and that's an improper fraction, what I want to do is I want to make the L and divide. So I have 25 divided by 4. 4 goes into 25 6 times, because 6 times 4 is 24. And I'm left with 6 and 1/4. So my final answer is 6 and 1/4. Last problem that we're going to take a look at is the green problem. 3 3/4 times 2 4/5. And again, what we need to do is we need to get these mixed numbers into improper fractions. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3 is 15. So that's going to be 15 over 4. And then we do the same thing. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 4 is 14. Again, what I'm noticing is I can do a lot of simplifying here. 5 and 15 are both divisible by 5 because they both end in 5. So 5 becomes a 1, 15 becomes 3. 14 and 4 are both even numbers, so I can cut those in half. So now I have 3 times 7 is 21 over 2 times 1, which is 2. So I have 21 over 2. In order to simplify that, what I'm going to do is I am going to, why am I getting a different answer on one than I am the other? What I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify this. I'm going to make the ln divide. So that's 21 divided by 2. 2 goes into 21 10 times. And I'm left with, excuse me, kids, I'm sorry, it's been a little bit of a long day, but you know how to divide. And I'm left with 1, which is right here. Trying to fit this in and I'm not doing very well. And I'm left with 1, so I take that 1, I put it up here. My final answer is 10 and 1/2. Now the question that you're going to be solving is 2/3 times 2 and 1/2.